Alright, what's up, guys? So, today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite movies, and that is Man of Steel. There are so many things to like about Man of Steel. First Flight, Hans Zimmer soundtrack, just the visuals of the film and the action, especially in the third act. I like the way Henry Cavill played the role in Man of Steel. He was not too much of a Boy Scout, but he was a little bit more macho and serious. Amy Adams is a fantastic Lois Lane. I thought she played the reporter part well. She was very charismatic, and she's very beautiful. Amy Adams is gorgeous, with her red hair and blue eyes and cute face. So I believe that Amy Adams was the perfect person to play Lois Lane. And I think her and Henry Cavill had great chemistry on screen. And the thing I like with Amy Adams' Lois Lane is that she knew Clark's identity. So there wasn't this whole thing where he has to hide that he's Superman from her. She helped Clark when they go on that ship to reset the pressure or atmosphere, and Superman could get his strength back on the ship. Amy Adams' Lois Lane helped Superman use the ship he arrived in to destroy the world engine. You know, I like that Amy Adams' Lois Lane helped Superman. I really liked Kevin Costner playing Jonathan Kent in this film. I thought that there were a lot of moments in this film where, he plays a really good father, and I liked his performance. Kevin Costner is an award-winning actor, so it was very nice to see him in this film play Superman's father, and he did a great job. I really liked Diane Lane as Martha Kent. She played the mother role really well. I feel like Diane Lane did a phenomenal job playing Martha Kent. Zack Snyder did a good job directing this film. I feel like there are a lot of shots in this film I like, especially in First Flight, where Superman flies for the first time. There's this beautiful camera work, and when Superman flies, every time he makes that sonic boom, I just get goosebumps. It's just epic. Man of Steel is epic. As far as the story goes, the first time I watched Man of Steel, it feels like Superman 1 and 2 put together. We have the origin story, but then similar to Superman 2, we have the fight with Zod's army. And I like the direction they went. I think it was pretty epic to see Superman and Zod fight in Man of Steel. They're just flying in the air, beating the crap out of each other. We see buildings falling over, we see them fighting, and there's explosions going on. So the fight between Superman and Zod was very epic. Especially that scene where Zod tells Superman, "I'm going to take them all from you." And Superman just starts hovering, and he's like, "You're a monster, Zod, and I'm going to stop you." There are these epic moments in the film. A lot of people say that in Man of Steel, Superman never smiles. But he did smile right before the end credits roll, when Lois tells him, "Welcome to the planet, Clark." And he's like, "Glad to be here, Lois." And he smiles at the camera, and the film ends. We see Man of Steel, directed by Zack Snyder. He even smiles when he goes home to visit his mother on the farm and tells her, "I found my parents," and she tells him, "I'm scared they'll take you away from me. When you were a baby, I used to lay by your crib and hear you breathe. You would struggle," because obviously Clark's adapting to the Earth's atmosphere. So he did smile there, and there's beautiful moments between him and his parents. He smiled when they were doing the interrogation scene, where he tells Lois it's not an S. On my world, it means hope. So Henry Cavill's Superman did smile. I liked Henry Cavill as Superman. I feel like he brought a more macho take to the character than the previous actors who portrayed Superman, who played the role in a brighter tone, and they played it more of a Boy Scout. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Christopher Reeve as Superman. I love Brandon Routh as Superman. I think Christopher Reeve, obviously, he's the most iconic Superman actor. He looked the part. He was charismatic, likable. I like Superman 1 and 2. And there's a lot of moments in those films to like. His first appearance in Superman 1. Superman turning back time in Superman 1. In Superman 2, when he saves the child at Niagara Falls who falls over. or the final fight with him and Zod. Superman Returns even had those amazing moments. Superman saving a plane. And I will say, Brandon Routh did a good job as Superman. I just wish we could have seen more of him, you know? But I really like Superman Returns as well. You know, the scene where he's lifting the Kryptonite Island into the skies, it was just epic. Also, I liked Kate Bosworth as Lois Lane. I thought she was beautiful and very likable as Lois Lane. And, you know, Superman has a son in Superman Returns. Little Jason. I feel like Jason was a great addition to the Superman story. Him being Superman's son was pretty cool, and it was nice to see him push that piano as he was saving his mother in that scene in the ship. The actor who plays Jason, he's adorable. That little boy was very adorable, and I liked him playing Jason, Superman's son. You know, there are certain child actors that stand out, like the Olsen twins in It Takes Two, Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone, Edward Furlong in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Alyssa Milano in Commando. So it's not very often you have an amazing child actor, but I really liked Jason, and it was pretty cool to see him be Superman's son. I really like Man of Steel. I loved Hans Zimmer's soundtrack in this film. You know, just on the opening scene on Krypton, where we see Krypton being destroyed and Russell Crowe as Jor-El trying to save his son. We see Laura. The machines are telling her, "Should you seek refuge, Laura?" Laura's telling her there is none. And she's saying, "Make a better world than ours, Cal." As we see Krypton get destroyed with that music in the background. It's so amazing. Then we see Henry Cavill save some people on a ship. And he's like on fire and he's holding up the stuff. We get this beautiful flashback of Clark getting his powers, the X-ray vision and super hearing kick in. He goes into the school and we hear his mom come now. "The world is too big, Mom." And she tells him, "Then make it smaller. Imagine my voice is an island. Now swim towards it." So it's little beautiful moments like these in the film that I really like. I feel like Man of Steel has some great moments with Clark Kent and his parents. Even the scene where Kevin Costner plays Jonathan Kent, Clark Kent's father, he shows him the ship. "This was in the pod when you arrived. We took it to a meteorologist, and he said it's unlike anything we've ever seen on this planet." Meaning, you're not from this planet. And he's telling him that, "I believe your parents sent you here for a reason. And whatever that reason is, you owe it to yourself to find out." And Clark is just like, "Can't I keep pretending I'm your son?" And he just hugs him and tells him, "You are my son. But out there you have a father who gave you another name. And he sent you here for a reason." So it's those beautiful moments I really like in Man of Steel. Clark just talking to his parents. Henry Cavill looks like Superman. He's got the perfect jawline. He's got the big chin. You know, he was a tall, broad-shouldered guy. Look at him. He looks like the comic book come to life. He's got the broad shoulders, big chest, big arms. He's a pretty tall, big man. Same thing with Christopher Reeve and Brandon Routh. I like the action in Man of Steel. I like the soundtrack. I like the visuals of the film. I will admit it's a little bit dark at times, but the thing I like with Man of Steel is it showed us how the Earth would react if an alien from another planet came to Earth and became Superman. It was a realistic look on Superman. And I like that. I like when they're in the interrogation room and he tells Lois, "It's not in us. On my world, it means hope." So I liked Henry Cavill, Superman, and I think he did a great job. I thought Henry Cavill's Superman costume was awesome. I liked the darker blue, and the cape he had was pretty nice. The material, whatever it was made out of, but it looked very nice. Henry Cavill's costume looks very alien. It doesn't look like, someone made that. It looks like an alien costume, and I think when it comes to the realistic take, they were going with Man of Steel. You know, a real alien becoming Superman and saving us. I think the costume works. I think Henry Cavill looks badass as Superman. I think the darker costume looks cool, and I liked it. But when Man of Steel comes to a conclusion, we see Clark put on the glasses, and we know that in our sequel, we're gonna see Clark Kent wearing the glasses. So yeah, guys, I really liked Man of Steel. There are so many epic scenes like First Flight, Superman Save Lois. Just go on YouTube and type in Superman Saves Lois. There's that amazing scene where he has to go save Lois flying out as he poses in front of the sun. And Hans Zimmer's score is epic there, even the fight with him and Zod at the end. So I feel like in terms of Man of Steel, I love the visuals, I love the action, I loved Henry Cavill as Superman, I loved Amy Adams as Lois Lane. And I love the visuals, I love the action, and I love Hans Zimmer's soundtrack. Some people didn't like the flashbacks being used for an origin story. I thought it worked because Batman Begins did that. You know, and Christopher Nolan produced Man of Steel. Him and Zack Snyder kind of worked on it together. I like Man of Steel, and I don't believe that Man of Steel deserves the hate that it gets. I feel like on the internet, a lot of people don't like this film, but I like it. It's all about the films that you like. A lot of us nowadays, we're all on social media, we're on the internet, and we're always listening to other people's opinions. But I feel like to really enjoy a film, you should watch what you want and enjoy what you want. I thought this film was epic, and I hope that you guys enjoyed my video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.